some fuck with my piece. Yeah, please some fuck with that. I wish it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another podcast with the Certified Vets. I'm your host T. And to my left, I have
Riley.
And as always, you have Duke De Niro.
And John on the tech side.
And we're always here giving you the latest when it comes to social media, big news topics, what's ever hot in the world. So right now, we know we have something that's really emotionally tied to the black community. And I want you, Duke, I want you to basically give us a rundown on what's happening and how it's really affecting us. So just give us a little background on what's going on.
I guess you'll be talking about the Breonna Taylor verdict.
100%, man. Black women lives matter big time in this situation because that's fucked up.
Precisely. Now, as far as the verdict goes, the one officer, I think his name was Brett Hankinson, was evidently fired for blindly firing through the covered patio window, which eventually killed Breonna Taylor. It was only recently the city of Louisville, Kentucky, I believe on the 15th of September, agreed to a $12 million settlement with the Taylor family and reforming police practices, which to me is bullshit. Even more recently, on the 23rd of September, which is last week, of course, a state grand jury indicted the same officer, Hankinson, not even for the death of Breonna Taylor, but on 3 accounts of wanton endangerment. So for endangering a neighbor with his shots. So what that looks to me is, in other words, he was being accountable for endangering others and not actually for the killing of an innocent bystander. So, and I just think it's highly condescending and insulting, and it makes no sense. But to me, it's just American culture, which is embedded with corruption and racial bias anyway. So,
and sorry, just to can you refresh my memory? What happened? Give me a little bit of rundown of the whole scenario.
Well, there was a search warrant for, I guess, because alleged drug trafficking at this. I don't know if I think it was this house that they had assumed that this business is going down.
They thought something was going down there. Yeah.
Right. So obviously warrants were signed, whatever, through I think courts, and then they pretty much went in without even really knowing anything. And I believe the boyfriend, his name was Kenneth Walker. Now, just imagine being woken up in the middle of the night and you're hearing bare noise.
Right.
What's the first thing? And you're illegally gun. You own guns legally.
So this is a carry state.
In a stand your ground state.
Stand your ground.
You
state.
have no duty.
Exactly,
You have no duty to retreat.
Right. So you're hearing stuff, and probably you're conditioned to things like that happening.
Right.
First thing you do is you're gonna shoot, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously officers are gonna shoot back too.
Shoot first, ask questions last.
And then in the crossfire, Breonna Taylor gets shot.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right. So, and then all that came out, and then the verdict came, and then this is where we came to now. So, I knew from day one that this was not going to end in favor of the black community, as these cases always conclude with the same result, regardless of how much evidence there is to convict, these race soldiers of murder, right? So I already knew from day one, as much as I was hoping, this would be the one that would end up in our favor, but then again.
So you're just wishing on a star.
Pretty much. That's all the way these things turn out, that's all you can really hope for, because it's not like there's many of cases where you've had concrete evidence to prove so-and-so did this, and what happens always ends in a settlement.
But here's the crazy thing, because I don't think it's just the fact that they we're looking to them to suffer the full length of the law. We're just asking them to be charged. We're taking it step by step, right? Charge them for the murder of Breonna Taylor. Mm-hmm. Don't dismiss the charges and then charge the officers for shooting drywall and endangering other people outside of the household. Like, to me, that's just some ludicrous bullshit that you can't even make up. This is like, I swear to God, it's like I'm watching a fairy tale or some kind of like sci-fi movie where bullshit is allowed to happen. But this is actually reality that we're living in, where a police officer that killed an innocent black woman in her bed is not being charged for that, but is being charged for the bullets that missed her. Mm-hmm. So the amount of bullets, how many bullets hit her? Like, I think it was like
I think they said 8.
Man,
something around.
Regardless if it's
even
2.
if it was one,
right?
But there's more than one that I know. I think it was 6, 8, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
You're not being charged for none of those bullets. So you're saying those bullets are justified. But you know what we're gonna do to you, Officer Detective Lane, or whatever the case you want to call it? That bullet that hit the furnace, that bullet that hit the drywall over there.
We're
the one
going to
that
hold
hit
you
the
accountable
wall,
for that.
We're gonna charge you for those ones. But the one that went into this innocent black woman, don't worry about that. You're not gonna get any time for that. Ain't that some fucked up shit that you ever heard in your life?
And it's basically taxpayers paying the tab for these things happening, because at the end of the day, when it's a settlement, that means the city's paying,
Yep.
Right.
and that's taxpayers' money that's going towards that settlement. So we're pretty much paying for white people to kill us.
Okay,
Yeah,
alright.
that is facts.
So, I mean, we all heard Charles Barkley.
Oh,
You know, maybe I'm not too versed on this whole situation. But from what Barkley was saying earlier was that listen, this is not the same sort of scenario as the George Floyd situation. So basically, this one was justified based on the circumstances, and from what information that I read, right, was that, and you guys, please correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah.
So the situation was that her ex-boyfriend, I think Glover was his last name, maybe. Her ex-boyfriend was a known drug dealer. And obviously she had some sort of connection with him. In 2016, she rented a car for him. That car was involved in a murder. There was no
2016.
2016.
Damn.
There was no evidence in regards to her knowing anything about
Right.
the murder or anything like that.
Yeah, police investigated
Exactly.
and cleared her of any involvement.
Cleared her. But I guess some sort of, they must have kept monitoring the connection, and I don't know if there was still any sort of like connection between her and her ex-boyfriend, who wasn't known. And I think they felt that drugs are still being ran out of her apartment because there was a package that was mailed to her home that the mail people said was suspicious and whatnot.
Right.
Suspicious.
So the warrant was actually a valid warrant from what I heard. Was a valid warrant. So
Right.
it's not like they were at the wrong address or anything like that. I don't know if it was a no-knock warrant, even though they said they knocked or something like that. But I'm confused about that.
Yeah, on the
situation.
warrant it says on the affidavit it says
Right.
it was requesting a no knock.
Which basically means you run up in the house without
just
letting
bang.
them know
Right,
that
right.
you're coming in.
Okay.
Because their concern was that if they announced they were police, the people then would have got rid of the drugs.
Yeah, they
wouldn't have got time to, yeah.
That's what
Okay.
their concern was.
Yeah.
So no knock warrant, whatnot, whatever. That apparently they must have been pounding on the door for 45 seconds, but they didn't necessarily announce that they were police.
Right.
The police said that they have a neighbor that says they did.
Right.
Other people are saying that they didn't. So I don't know in regards to that.
And now here, take it in though. The same neighbor that said that the
Yeah.
police announced themselves, the first and the second interview that the police did with him, he said that he didn't hear any announcement of the police announcing themselves. But it was the third interview that he said that the police announced
did
themselves.
announce.
Sounds like a
So
little
some
bit of
sort of
coerced going
So
forcing.
you
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So just putting that out for,
Yeah,
for the
for sure.
record.
But that's what police usually do anyway.
So I think the reason why, and again, we're gonna have a conversation about this, but the reason why Barkley is not painting it in the same light as the George Floyd situation is that with the George Floyd situation, George Floyd was obviously in handcuffs, subdued, whatever, and you're still on his neck for 8 minutes,
Right.
and what, right? This situation is that, listen, you had some sort of affiliation with a known drug dealer. There was suspicion that there was still some sort of connection based on whatever package was sent out. I even heard maybe the package was just shoes and clothes.
Yeah,
from what I heard,
it was closed
right?
or whatever.
So,
Right.
but I guess they had enough evidence in regards to there's still some sort of connection between her
Some
and
Fashion
Fashion Nova stuff. Maybe I don't know.
It's suspicious.
I don't know. Listen, so they were there.
right.
They knocked, bam, bam, bam. One shot was fired from Walker.
Yeah.
Which again, like if I'm in that situation, if nobody's letting me know who they're on at the door, they just bust my door open. I'd
Yeah,
probably
you're
do
sure.
the same thing. They return fire.
And then remember,
She
these
ends up
officers were in plain clothes. Though. They
So
weren't
yeah,
in
they're
uniform,
undercovers. Yeah. She ends up getting shot, and that was the situation. It was so.
So Charles Barkley, his whole argument was that
They were just doing their job.
his whole thing was that the reason why it's different is that the boyfriend shot at the police.
Correct.
So that's why it's different from
Right.
George Floyd and Aubrey. What's the brother's name?
Ahmaud Arbery.
Ahmaud Arbery. You know?
Right.
So that's what his argument was.
Right.
It's different because the boyfriend shot at the police.
Yeah.
But if you're living in a state where you're standing your ground, then he had every right to shoot.
He did have every right because they initially charged him,
right,
and then they dropped the charges
Right.
against him.
So he had
They
every
had no
right.
grounds.
they had no. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what Charles Barkley's saying is bullshit.
Ex-
Then.
Oh, come on, man. We have heard Charles Barkley and other celebrities,
Candace
or
Owens.
I don't know.
I guess be considered.
Well, we'll say
celebrity.
people that are known in the media,
Right.
Public figures.
Public figures. They say stuff without knowing the full context and
Mhm.
without actually looking deep into their own personal blackness to say, "Yo, is this even right?"
Mm-hmm.
You are being killed in your bed by the same people your tax dollars pay for this salary, and you're innocent. How can you justify that killing in any sensible way?
Mhm.
Right?
So, to have a different point of view would be, yes, it's coming down to, I guess she had no sort of connection. But is this a scenario where your past coming back to haunt you? In regards to you got to be careful who you're affiliated with, because you never know. And let's not even go in the route in regards to your cop shooting you. But I could be rolling with you,
Mhm.
and I know how you roll in the streets, and I know you have a certain enemies. And let's say we fall off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't even talk for a couple of years.
Right.
But if some man saw me in the past rolling with you,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? They may automatically, regardless, they're not gonna come and ask me, "Yo, what's going on? You still dealing with this man?" Blah blah
Right.
blah blah. They're gonna be like, "Yo, I know
That you're-
this guy used to roll with this guy, and I'm gonna do something to him."
Yeah.
Right.
So is this a situation in regards to is it as simple as, oh, the cops just came out here and just looking to dun off a black person,
Yeah,
or
but-
is this a situation in regards to unfortunately Breonna Taylor was messing with the wrong type of person in the past, and her past came back to haunt her,
Mhm.
and this is the end result.
So you're saying it doesn't matter if you distance yourself from the past; it's always going to be there.
Even
That's
though
the possibility,
yeah.
right?
And
Because if you do dirt in the past,
Mhm.
let's say you took someone's life or you harmed somebody,
Mhm.
is there an expiration date on when they can retaliate?
Right.
No.
And
exactly. But that's basically what he's saying.
And the thing is, again, we don't even know how long she's been away from this ex-boyfriend. Like, is this something where we all talk to girls where, we don't talk for a minute, then it's a quick text saying, "Yo, how you been?
Hey,
Miss
big
you,
head."
bomb.
Uh-huh.
Let's link up."
Right.
We link
What
up
you
for a
doing
little
tonight?
bit, then we break up for a little bit, and you know what I mean?
My
So
baby
is it one of those
sleep.
situations where it's an on and off type of things? Maybe you're not rolling with me hard body where you're at my spot every day,
Right.
but if the cops are consistently surveying you,
Mhm.
and then they're seeing that there's any sort of
And they
connection
connect the
with you-
dots and they basically say, okay,
Exactly.
well, this is what's going on, so
Exactly.
let's go in now.
So is this a situation? And then I think that's where Barkley's saying, like, and even Shaq was kind of like agreeing with him. Is this a situation where, like, the dude who was in his apartment, the white cop came in,
Both of them, John.
what was his name? Sorry,
Both of them, Gene, yeah.
yeah, came in, thought it was her spot, and shot the man. Like, that is like, come on, that is crazy to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the common denominator is the mishandling of treating black people, regardless of whether you think if you could lump Breonna Taylor with George Floyd, there's always a common denominator with these cases, and it's mishandling protecting black people. So it's like,
Because you have to look at it this way. The police department, SWAT, whatever you want to call it, they're trained, they have the equipment to deal with situations like this, right? Even if it had to been a standoff for freaking 24 hours where they
Mhm.
say, you know what, fuck it, we give up, we're going to come up with our hands up. Why does it have to be where someone that's laying in their bed catches shots and loses their
Right.
lives?
So I don't know if she was actually laying in her bed. I don't know
Mhm.
if that was, because I heard she was laying in her bed, fast asleep. Now that wasn't a scenario. They were all awake out of their bed.
who said they were all awake?
That's from like some of the news reports that I.
Man, you can't.
Yeah,
trust the news,
from
man.
what I read, they were saying that like they were laying in bed when the police knocked.
Yeah, but they got out of bed.
And then they got out of bed where she was
ended up
actually
dying in the
killed. Where she
hallway.
was actually killed. She was in the hallway.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
and I could totally agree with that because if
Yeah.
someone's knocking at your door for 45 minutes, you're not going to be staying.
45
in-
seconds.
45
45
seconds.
seconds,
You're
yeah.
not going to be laying in your bed,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Someone knocks on my door, I immediately get up and like, who the fuck is at my
Yeah,
door?
yeah. Especially pound.
What time was this? What time?
12:45. It's like
Midnight?
12:24, 12:45.
Yeah, something like that.
Uh,
40. Someone's not.
And listen, I get where Walker is coming from because from what I read, Walker was concerned that it was actually her ex-boyfriend because obviously he didn't like
gunshot.
the fact that Walker was dealing with her. You know what I mean?
Inside joke.
He's
by the
basically
way.
making sure that he doesn't come back and try to disrupt his house.
There
Yeah,
you go, right?
yeah.
So listen, the Walker situation, I totally
Justified. That's why
totally
he's not charged.
justified. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
So the police now, though, holding the police accountable for Breonna Taylor's death, though. Is it really the police's fault?
No.
Or is it the?
Well, it is. It is to
Or
a
is
certain
it
degree.
the-
This is just an
the
unfortunate
ju-
mishap.
the
But
judges?
No, no, no.
Who enforces them
It's a
to
t-
do that?
It's a tier thing,
Right.
Because yes, we understand the police are there to do their jobs and they're following orders, but everybody has a way of handling things, right? But are we so fixated as a black community as in getting the police when they're the ones getting orders from higher ups to
There's
do
always a
these
route.
things,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, are we taking care of the surface and not realizing that this is a deeper thing?
Right.
Or are we just are we just content with, oh, let's just put the cops in jail?
Mm-hmm.
So what? They're gonna tell another batch of cops to go serve another warrant at another house and kill another black family.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Shouldn't that change as well?
So what do we need then? Like, what's the
We
what's the solution
need-
to,
Better district attorneys who are not so quick for settlements.
okay. Who was the
Dude.
district attorney on this? Because I know there was some controversy with him. Was it the district attorney or was it the?
The thing is with this whole situation is that if police officers are shot at
Mm-hmm.
legally, they're allowed to defend themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the police can't really be held accountable for shooting back.
Mm-hmm. But they're being kind of accountable for the shots that missed her.
Yeah,
so.
they're being held accountable for shooting blindly into the the neighbor's house, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if this were to actually go to trial, the people that were to be held accountable was who signed this warrant,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
which would be a
Because
judge, which
It's
would be a
wrong
judge.
information.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
So why are they not on trial? Why are they not the names that we're calling out when we're screaming for justice, right?
Yeah.
Because
Because
we're
judge-
basically saying this. We want justice for Breonna Taylor. Arrest these cops.
Mm-hmm.
So we're telling the people that signed the warrants that sent the cops in to kill Breonna Taylor
Mhm.
to arrest the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they arrest the cops, they're still going to do what they did before because
Exactly.
they are outside the realm of being persecuted,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of messed up because cops to them are foot soldiers.
Mm.
They're basically saying, listen, go to 123 Crescent Drive and I want you to execute this non-knock
Let
warrant.
me give it on my address like that. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry about that. Let's go to 12 Black
Yeah, you don't.
seed bag way,
yeah.
whatever you want, and execute this knock warrant.
Yeah.
Go to Galloway, go to Malvern,
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
Jane and Finch, go to Driftwood, and execute these non-knock warrants. And then when the cop does something out of scope, because we don't know how it is when a cop enters a place knowing that there's a gunman in
Yeah,
this house.
they're in
What's
fear,
gonna happen?
Yeah, you gotta.
They're going to pull out and make sure they go home before that person takes them out.
Right.
But if we only go for the cops, they're expendable
Mm-hmm.
to
Right,
the
right,
eyes
right.
of the judges and the district attorneys and the government.
Mm.
So, yes, I do believe the cops need to be reprimanded.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're only going to stop at the cops to be reprimanded,
Right.
we're not stopping anything.
So what actionable items do you think needs to be taken care? Like,
Boy, I say I'm not really American still, and there's a lot of politics.
but the thing is, from the outside looking in, we can obviously
So-
suggest certain things. Like,
I think for the first thing we need more black cops in those communities.
to be honest with you, I don't think that's gonna make a difference. Because
Why is that?
black cops, they're not most likely, but they're probably just as bad as the white cops.
Okay.
In situations like that.
I wouldn't say that because even there was a video that dropped the other day
Mhm.
where some black man was moving, like walking around with a gun or whatever the case is, and then
Yeah.
a black woman, like she had the gun, like she's a police police officer.
Mhm.
She had the gun drawn on the man,
Mhm.
and then she told him multiple times to drop the gun.
Yeah.
She shot the man once. So
Mhm.
she didn't empty the clip on him.
Mhm.
She just shot the man once, and then the man dropped. He dashed the gun, but then the black woman started crying
Right.
like instantly
Mhm.
that she had to shoot the man in the first place. So
But how many examples of that have we seen?
I seen another example where a black man, a next black man was
Mhm.
chasing a black police officer, and then he was forced to shoot the man, and he was just like, the man was hysterical, like, I had no choice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Listen.
So, but when it comes to the white man and they're shooting the black man, they're emptying the clip,
Yeah.
reloading, ready
I'd
to
rather
go.
take my chances
With
with
a
a
black
black cop
Yeah.
than with any other type of race. I'll be honest
Because
with you.
they, even if let's say the black cop was not growing in a certain demographic, they weren't growing in the hood, they're still gonna look at it and be like, man, that could be me, that could be my brother. They're gonna look at
There's
it
not that
differently.
inherent fear of I see a black guy.
And it's automatically
scary.
yo.
Mhm.
You know what I
Because
mean?
why? You have that shroud where you can relate to that person
Yeah.
off the tip, right?
Listen, even when the black police officer showed up, the man's like, send the real police. You know what I mean? The man didn't even look at the black officers as real police.
Who?
Man,
Who?
in the same one where the black woman shot the man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I sent the video to you guys.
Yeah.
But the man even said, send the real police.
Damn.
You know what I mean? The man didn't even look at the black officers as real police
No
officers.
respect, eh?
You know
No
what I'm
respect
saying?
to the authority of the law, right?
Damn.
But I feel that a black cop in a white system, yes, they do feel they need to fit in and need to do this and that to keep their job and to be considered the blue, protected under the blue badge or whatever the case may be.
Thin blue
But
line.
Huh?
The thin blue line.
The thin blue line, right? But I do feel that when they go out there, they do not inherently look at all black people as a threat. They'll look
Absolutely
at them
not.
like they're going to look at you and be like, you know what? I could reason with this person because one, I don't look like the enemy.
Right.
Even though I have the badge on and stuff like that, if I say, yo, brother, listen, man, let's talk for a second. They're gonna
Yeah.
be like, let me give this police officer 2 seconds because he's black.
Right.
Right.
Just that video that was on social media where the Indian cop came up to the car. Said, yo, what the fuck you guys doing? They're like, what do you mean, what you doing? You said, yo, turn that music up.
Mm.
And the man did a little Bhangra dance.
Was
and
that
stuff.
Indian cop? I thought it was a white cop, man.
No, it was definitely Indian cop.
Was he Indian
He
cop?
is Indian.
Oh,
cop,
okay.
yeah.
But I
'Cause
see
he
your
did the dance
point,
move,
though.
and I was like,
Yeah.
I've been
Okay.
around him all through college. I know what's up.
All right.
So it's like if a black person was playing hip hop music, you can pop up and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
what you playing there, man? Some Roddy Rich? All right, turn that up, man. You guys not causing no trouble. All right, cool. Let's step out.
You know what's funny? Even in the same video where the black woman shot the black man,
Mm-hmm.
before she shot him, when she went to the neighborhood, the music was playing, and she was like, she was bumping to the music, all singing the lyrics and everything. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
came there comfortably, you know,
Bro,
so
listen, when you know the people that you're dealing with, and especially in a high hostile situation,
Right.
you have more avenues on how to deal with them. If I go to the hood and something's popping off, I'm not gonna go in there with my chest high and a badge on and my vest on, hand on gun, like what's going on here? But like, I'm gonna go. Yeah, we all dealing
Because
with
you
it.
know how to navigate through that.
Was it you guys playing bones? Well, who's catching a 6?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, no one's catching a 6. I'm like, I bet you I'll catch a 6 right now. It's a different vibe. But if a white person came in and said that, you'd be like,
What's going on here?
So we said
you guys have a permit?
We need some more Denzel Washingtons from training days in the community.
well,
then.
not training.
I don't know about that nigga though.
No, but yeah, I think more. I think that's the first thing. We need more people that look like us in our own community policing us. You know what I mean?
So with that said, because you guys brought up Charles Barkley in his remarks, right? And a lot of times Charles Barkley says stuff out of pocket, especially because he has a white wife on top of that.
Does
Right.
he? He's married?
Well, I think the last time he had some dispute when it comes to race, he had a white girlfriend at the time, and people
Okay,
are like, how the hell are you going to talk?
Yeah.
And I guess that's one of the big points, right? Even the district attorney.
So, I mean, the Women's March co-founder Tamika Mallory says that the Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron, he's no different than sellout Negroes.
Yeah.
So when it comes to when we say sellout Negroes, we have another word for that. What's
Coons.
that? Coons.
Mm.
So give me the definition of coons, Tech.
I need to hear the definition.
I need to hear
of
the
a coon,
definition.
'cause
And when you give the definition,
the
right
definition
after, give us some examples of who.
Yeah, because the definition
Right,
sways
from
depending on the person.
Depends
So
on how
I
woke
need
you
to
are.
know what the definition of
See,
it.
the thing is now when you go the dictionary definition.
The dictionary, the Webster dictionary, or
Listen, if we were
The white man's dictionary?
if we were to go to the white man's dictionary, the thing is a coon would be considered a black person that entertains white people. You know what I mean? Whether it's singing, dancing, or whatever the case is, right? But in the context that black
that we
people,
talking about
like
it.
in
Yeah,
the context
yeah,
that we use it, when we're talking about a coon, we're talking about someone that is a sellout in terms of
Right.
they're arguing in favor of the white dominant culture,
Okay.
whether it's politically,
Okay.
socially,
Right.
or for financial benefit. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So pretty much like, is there a set definition? There is really the definition depends on who's really using it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'll also add on to that. So I would basically say someone who's willfully oblivious to white discrimination and anti-black social standards in our society.
All right.
So I would add on to that.
I'll
But
add.
do you really think it's someone that's oblivious? I think
They-
Well,
I think,
whether
they know.
subconsciously or consciously.
I think cooning is
They know.
I think cooning is deliberate.
Yeah, I think
Deliberate.
Yeah.
Cooning to me
Because
is
some of
more,
them,
you know the shit that's happening to your black people, but because you want to be so affiliated with the white culture that you're willing to just say, you know what, fuck it, you guys are supposed to do this. If
Right.
you didn't, if he didn't go in there with that $20 counterfeit, which wasn't a $20 counterfeit,
right.
he wouldn't have got choked out.
Right.
If Breonna Taylor's boyfriend didn't shoot, Breonna Taylor would be alive right now.
Right.
If that kid wasn't playing with that toy gun, or if Trayvon Martin didn't have a hoodie on, there would be, to me, that's cooning. Because now what you're basically saying is you're going to side with the story that doesn't make any goddamn sense to go against your culture.
And you know what the thing is, you always bring that up, but you never bring up the corruption of the police.
Right.
There's
That's
there's
facts.
no record ever. Listen, even in California, there's a police gang. Within the police, there's a
Yeah,
gang.
I just remember that. I remember hearing
the,
about that.
the executioners.
Right.
They're called the executioners. They have tattoos and everything.
Where they're having like
gang-
an initiation.
Yeah, initiation. Yeah, the initiation is that you have to kill someone
Wow.
to be brought in, and this is another police officer exposed this.
Right.
And because he
right.
exposed this, they called him a rat.
Right.
And they're against him.
So
So within the police, there's this corruption. Now you don't hear these coons talking about that.
Yeah.
You don't hear these coons mentioning that.
They don't want to.
It's against their
It's
the
against their
narrative.
code.
All right.
It's against their code, exactly, right? Because they're always trying to look for white acceptance, right? So,
do we have any examples of these so-called coons?
Jason Whitlock.
Oh, here
Jason.
we go.
Oh,
Here we go.
So
Your
Jason
boy-
Whitlock
your
is
boy.
a special one, I don't want to speak about him. I'll let someone else speak about him.
I'm not gonna.
So give me an example why he's a coon there.
Okay, so just to kind of, Jason Whitlock he used to be on this Fox Sports show called Speak for Yourself. Love that show.
Mhm.
Probably the best sports commentary show out there.
Okay.
He got let go. I think it was some contract dispute. He wanted more money or whatnot. Didn't go his way. Now he has a podcast on YouTube or whatnot. I can't remember the name of it,
hmm
but he's known for having, I guess, quote unquote, controversial opinions on
Right.
social situations.
Okay, so the reason why I would say him
Mm-hmm.
is because you can be very critical of your own community, and that's fine.
Right.
But to be profound and instinctively critical of your own community while ignoring anti-black cues in our society, then clearly you have an identity issue with who you are culturally.
So you're basically saying they're pushing that narrative more so than actually the white supremacy onto
Right.
black people.
Because it's okay to criticize your own community because not every community is perfect. There's things that we can be better at doing, right?
Yeah.
But when you're just focusing on certain things that we're doing and not the root of why these things are happening, then
Okay.
you're pretty much cooning, my friend.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Listen, Jason Whitlock is a light coon. There's more.
Light coon. There's
He-
levels. You're saying there's levels to
levels
cooning?
to cooning.
Okay.
Listen,
Okay.
I'm talking
So
about.
let's start with the light coon because
No,
I'm gonna jump in on
wait,
this.
no. I want to go into the heavy coon.
All right.
No, but okay, let me talk about Whitlock because
talk about.
I think for the most part I watch those shows on a
Uh-huh.
consistent. I used to, anyways, when he was on it. Now that he's not on it, it hasn't been as entertaining, to be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
But for the most part, a lot of things that he says, to be honest with you, come with a lot of logic. You know what I mean? He's talking in the sense that, yeah, it may be controversial because sometimes black people don't want to hear the truth. to be
Okay,
honest
so talk about the LeVar Ball and the what's the woman's name? The white woman?
Christina Leahy.
Yeah. Where was Jason Whitlock?
Yeah,
like,
that
in
one.
situation?
Yeah, I agree with that one. But that one is listen. They're co-hosts. They work on the same show. What do you think he's gonna do?
Yeah.
Of course, he's gonna defend her. Like come on, you can't use that as an example.
Listen. So because he's her co-host, he's gonna choose her over his own people?
No.
So basically, you're saying that is a form of coonery right there.
I don't think that's a good example. Only because, listen, if somebody was going after you, honestly, even if you were in the wrong, me and you being friends and co-hosts, I'm probably gonna ride with you. You know, I'm not gonna go against you and talk against you in public. And you know what I mean? That's just me personally.
Listen, if you're my brethren, you tell me the truth.
I'll tell you the truth behind closed doors, but I'm not gonna go out in public and say, "Yo, John, how dare you have said that in front of the national audience." I'm not gonna do that.
So here's the thing with that, right? You're gonna tell him behind the camera where there's only 2 people, where in front of the camera there's millions. So you're correcting 2 mindsets and not a million mindsets.
But remember, I agree with whoever's against him, but because he's my boy, I'm not going to go against him.
Exactly. So
I'm not correcting.
So you're basically not throwing him under the bus.
I don't want to throw him under the bus.
But that's what I'm trying to say is, though, you're not throwing him under the bus to correct him in front of millions, but you'll do it in a room where it's just 1 and 2. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is you're correcting him where you're going to say, okay, I got it. I did make a mistake, but it's only 2 people that are being affected. Where if you did it online or on air, millions would see it.
No. Because at that point, when we have that one-on-one conversation, it's up to him on whether or not what he wants to do. If he wants to come out and say, "Listen, you know what? I think that basically."
But that's what I'm trying to say.
But no,
if
you want to chastise him,
but that's what I'm trying to say is you're sacrificing.
I'm not doing it.
But I understand.
I hear what you're saying.
But so can I say it?
You can say it a million times, a different million ways.
So can I say
I'm not doing it.
But can I say it though?
Let him say it.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you would basically say is, you know what? The million viewers, let's say it's 1 million viewers because it was on a notarized station. I'm not gonna correct him. So what you hear here on this line on air is what it is. But off air, when I catch him in the green room, you are wrong. So the 1 million people didn't hear you tell him that it was wrong, and the other million people didn't hear him saying, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong. Fuck.
That's fine. And listen, I'm going under the
Jesus Christ.
Listen, and that's maybe I'm too ride or die, but
that is
bro. I'm going under the fire with my boy.
But
because
where's
remember,
your ride or die if he's going against your community and he's a different race?
Regardless
who are you riding or dying for?
Regardless of the community, what I'm saying is, if any sort of situation where whatever he said was incorrect, right, and a million people are going after him, I'm not going on this podcast or national audience or whatever. And
you're gonna tell him on a one-on-one.
Tell him on a one-on-one. Right. Whatever he does on that situation after, it's up to him. And again, I'm gonna ride with him. Either I'm just gonna ignore the situation and be like, "Damn, all right."
So you're turning a blind eye.
I'm turning a blind eye. That's me.
So how are you helping?
I'm not saying that's not you. What I'm saying is, you have to look at the ramification of what you are doing.
But the ramification is going to be on both of us at that point, and I'm okay with that.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm okay with that.
So you're okay with the collateral damage?
I'm okay with the collateral damage. That's exactly what I'm okay with.
The ramification is not on 2 people. It's on 2 plus 1 million, if that's the viewers. Because the viewers seen...
Then that's fine.
That's not fine.
Why is that not fine?
Because now you have 1 million people thinking that you're holding down this person that's disrespecting the culture.
That's fine.
To you, that's yes, fine. But
that's
to
fine.
The million people.
I don't. But here's the thing: I don't care. Like,
so that means you don't really care for your community.
Here's the thing. Oh, come on, let's stop with that.
But that's what it sounds like. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right? Because that's like if we go back to the Meg Thee Stallion thing. If you're not riding with Meg Thee Stallion in that situation, a lot of people are going to look at you and say you're not riding with the community. You're not riding with Black women. So I don't care about the 1 million people or their opinion. I care about my own personal opinion. I care about the relationship that I have with the people that I know. I don't care about people on Twitter. I don't care about people on Instagram and their comments. Those people are fickle. Those people look for...
You don't care for Black Twitter?
I don't know what the fuck. I don't have Twitter. What the fuck is Black Twitter? Let alone what the fuck is Black Twitter? You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't have any of that stuff.
I can respect that.
Any one of you guys here, I'm riding with you guys.
Yeah.
Whether you're right or wrong. If you're wrong, I'm going to tell you behind closed doors.
Yeah. But just not on social media.
But I'm not. There's no way in hell I'm going to go out there and say,
if you put it that way, I understand.
How dare
you know what?
T. Smith say da-da-da-da. I'm not doing that.
Personally, it's a fair point because even with the Rick Ross thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up too. Yeah,
should have linked Tory Lanez directly.
They always say that.
Corrected him as opposed to going online and.
Anytime a celebrity gets into a situation, other celebrities jump on. Like I remember when Stephen A. Smith, perfect example. Stephen A. Smith was going after Carmelo. I can't remember exactly what the scenario was.
Yeah.
Carmelo called him and said, "Yo, you have my number. Why would you not? We have a personal relationship.
Yeah, why
would you not call me?
Broadcasting the business.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if Stephen A., after that conversation, had to come on national television and say, you know what, that's my bad. I should have had the one-on-one, get the full story, then make the commentary.
I 100% understand your logic, but your follow-through fell through.
Oh, in what way?
Because you said what he does with it after that is that doesn't matter to me. Where if you had let's say this was an issue where you on this podcast said something and one of us were of a different race and we trashed a white race or black race, you would check them after, but you would want them to do something on air to say, yo, something popped up.
Of course.
But if they didn't, you would let it go.
I would let it go. I'm not gonna.
I would say, listen, on our next episode, straighten shit out.
What if he doesn't? Let's say we have that conversation. What if he doesn't?
I'm going to turn the mics off and beat him up.
Okay.
Let him know these fists mean something until he corrects himself.
Okay, well, that's different.
The reason why I'm saying that, because we talked on the past episode where Vlad was shitting on the Minister Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say you and Vlad were co-hosts.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want him to come back on air and say, listen, man, I said some stuff I shouldn't have said.
Right.
Let me clear the air up.
You have two choices at that point.
Yeah.
You either could go the route, try to talk to him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, then you gotta. If you feel that much about it,
step away.
You gotta step away.
Yeah.
At that point.
So do you care that the person has an understanding after the fact?
Sorry, say it again.
Do you care that the person has an understanding after the fact?
So further to that, do they care that they have an understanding after that? But do they have an understanding plus show it to the public, to your audience?
Right.
Yeah. I think if you, I
so
think
you're okay if they just say, "Oh, I understand where you're coming from, Riley. We're good. I won't say shit like that again."
Yeah. If he doesn't want to do it, if he's not going to go out there, I'm not going to force him.
Okay. That's
we just have to ride the wave.
I'm going to turn the mics off, teach him a lesson.
Right.
And then we're going to come back. Because to me, if you diss the black population or the culture, for viewers, we got to settle that on air. We got to settle
Exactly.
that.
Right.
Oh, yeah, so that's just my opinion, right? But again, back to what was David Whitlock.
Jason Whitlock.
That's whatever his name is. Yeah. The people say he's coons, but you're saying he's not coons. What do you have to say about that?
So for me, I don't think he's necessarily a coon. I think for the most part, he says a lot of things that make a lot of sense. Now, and I think honestly he has good intentions. Do I think there are people out there that could say the same type of thing but have different intentions? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think for the most part, this guy really does want to see the betterment of the black community.
Is he married to a black woman?
He's not married at all.
He's not married at all.
He's not married at all.
No.
You trying to slide that in there? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm asking.
I'm
asking.
Hold on.
I'm asking.
Well, so the question is,
because Charles Barkley is married to a white woman.
So what does that?
Okay, and the district attorney that did not charge the officers for
Breonna Taylor. Interracial dating, you're a coon? Is that what we're saying?
Listen, man.
Here's a pattern.
There's a pattern, though.
So
there's a pattern that a lot of these coons are married to white people.
So my
Candace Owens.
So my question is to your point. Mm-hmm. If you are in an interracial relationship as a black person, does your views change, or can be skewed towards your own people?
It doesn't change, but it's skewed. Because
and how so? Elaborate on that.
Because you have to look at it from you're with a white woman now. You can't really just look at just your own community. You have to look at.
You have to look for the betterment of your white wife's community.
Exactly, because
so you're basically saying
this is who you're creating life with,
right?
Right. So
you're not looking at it just from.
You can still be for your community, but it's skewed in the sense where you're not.
So wait, does that make you a coon, or because 2 seconds ago, the first thing that we were jumping on is, yo, this guy married to a white woman?
I say pro-black is different from being a black supporter.
Elaborate.
Meaning, what are the pillars that kind of plight the black community?
The nuclear family structure.
The nuclear family structure, which means a black woman and a black man.
Right.
All right. Black economics.
Right.
Black legal system. There's things that affect black people from the get-go.
So
can you call yourself a pro-black person? Let's say me as a black man. I'm married to a black woman. Can I go to a conference and speak to young black people about the importance of black marriage?
Yes.
And have a white wife?
No.
No, you can't.
Exactly, right? So can
Yeah,
you be
can't talk about
pro-black
that.
to the pillars that are plighting our community?
Mm-hmm.
But you can be a black supporter having a white wife and speaking on the
Right,
importance of
right.
black love, right?
So-
but it's almost
okay.
like a contradiction to a point.
Right.
But
That's what I'm
then-
saying. It's skewed. But go
So the examples that they will say, like people would say, is then okay, what about social justice warriors like Harry Belafonte,
Mm-hmm.
Sidney Poitier,
Yeah.
who were very vocal and
Yeah.
I guess very important in regards to the
Even Frederick
Civil-
Douglass too. at a
Frederick
point.
Douglass.
Yeah.
Douglass. But again, that was like at the.
But then
Yeah,
it goes back to what he was just saying, that you can be a supporter.
Which is
Are they supporters or are they like? I mean, they were pretty deep when it
they're
comes
pretty
to the
deep,
whole-
but what I'm saying is everything is on a spectrum. So you could do all these great things for the black community. Put it this way: put two black people do the exact same things for their black community, but one has an interracial relationship and one has a black relationship. Which one is more believable in your eyes?
Sorry, say that one more time.
So you have two people that do exactly the same thing in the black community, but one is loving a black spouse and the other one is not. So me and you are doing the exact same thing. We're building schools, we're doing workshops, we're investing money back into the black community.
Right.
I have a black wife, obviously, and he has a white wife, obviously.
Dwayne. Yeah. Duke De Niro. Yeah.
Which
I don't know
one
what you're
is going to be
talking about.
looked at more trustworthy in the black community? Yeah. So what's your take on that?
So I mean, obviously, for the most part, people are gonna look at it and just say, the one with the black wife, black husband, looks more appealing or more trustworthy. Even though at the end of the day, it's the same result. If everybody's sending everything equally, what does it really matter as long as you're getting?
It's the visual, in
Yeah.
my perspective.
Okay.
You can't just say,
Okay.
you can't just tell someone to do something. You got to show them how to do it.
Exactly.
Well, okay, yeah. If we're talking, so we're talking about two different things now.
Gotta
'Cause
lead by
his example
example.
was, if everybody's building a school and donating money and doing that, but if you guys are both talking about the black nuclear family and having a black spouse, then obviously the guy with the white wife or whatever other race wife couldn't talk about that. That wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah,
That-
exactly.
but I don't. And is there anybody really talking about?
They could talk about it, but is it believable?
I don't even know if I've ever heard anybody talk about black love, black unity, and they had a spouse that wasn't black.
Well, if you're talking about the black community and you have a non-black spouse, then you're missing a big chunk of what's important in our community.
The black part of it.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I hear when people, like, I posted this many times on social media, and a lot of black people that are in an interracial relationship, they get very frustrated, flustered, upset, and heated, and they come at me. And I'm like, listen, I'm not taking away your blackness. I'm just saying, when it comes to the overall blackness of what you're portraying, if you were in the same predicament but had a black spouse, there's no way someone could take a shot at you because you're 100% encompassed in black. But if you're speaking on black issues and you have a white spouse, for instance, some of your bedroom talk is going to be influenced by a white person.
So wait, okay. So back to, I guess, we were talking about this whole Cooney situation where, so because we were talking about Whitlock. John brought up, isn't he married to a black wife? We talked about white wife. Sorry, talked about Barkley. Talked about his wife. So again, is being in an interracial relationship, is that cooning?
Listen, being in an interracial relationship will compromise your dedication to the advancement of black people.
Okay.
That's what it boils down to. You're not going to be 100% committed. There's going to be that a certain percentage diverted to the Canadian lifestyle or the American culture. You know what I mean?
Right.
Basically, an asterisk to your name.
If you're married to most of us are from the Caribbean, Jamaican, right?
Yeah.
If we're married to a Jamaican woman, we're 100% committed to.
Oh, we
You know
can't
what I mean?
discriminate. Sorry.
All right,
Where are you from? Grenada?
Barbados.
Barbados, Caribbean. Listen, different
yeah.
slave ship stop at a different island. We're from the same people, bro.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Listen, if we're dealing with the same people that we're married to the same woman from where we're from,
Right.
we're 100% committed culturally,
Okay.
and we can understand each other on a level. But if we're dating a white woman, now our white woman is sitting here saying, "Oh,
I don't understand this. I don't understand that.
Why do you always speak against the LGBT community?" You know what I mean? And then you're there, and she's there raising her children.
Okay,
You know what I mean? Hold on.
Sure,
Listen.
sure.
These are facts, B. Because the people them that promote this,
He said facts, beat.
listen, these are facts. Yo. The people that promote this, it's not people from Jamaica that's coming down here talking about yo LGBT rights.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's the people them that are down here.
That's starting to change in Jamaica, but continue. Yeah.
So bottom line is this: culturally, you're not gonna be 100% dedicated to your people if you're married to a white woman, or a Chinese woman, or an Indian woman.
Right. And in regards to when we rank, black issues, is this a huge issue in the black community, you think?
You talking about the black family?
Interracial relationships.
Yeah.
You think this is
a lot of black women say they don't really care that a black man dates a white woman, as long as they don't trash the black woman. But I call bullshit on that.
Okay.
Because I know for a fact when they see a black man, especially a black successful man, talking to another race, they feel it.
Right.
Because black men, you can't tell me if you don't see a sexy black woman accomplished and they're talking to another race man, you don't feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Listen, black women complain if you're a black man talking to a light skinned black woman. Then they talk about They talk about colorism.
True.
You know what I mean?
So
that's crazy as shit.
So again, back to in regards to like this being a major issue.
Well, let's put it this way: the district attorney.
Yeah.
Black man.
Yeah.
White woman.
White woman. White wife.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say white woman. White wife with
right.
kids and everything, right?
President Obama, black wife. What did he do when Trayvon Martin and all these mans were getting gunned down?
He just cried. He just cried online.
All right, he cried. So again, I don't know if necessarily because you automatically have a spouse that isn't necessarily black, that you're all of a sudden gonna be skewed in regards to your.
So name a champion for black people that has a white wife or a white husband.
So again, I'll talk about the people in the past. Harry Belafonte.
What has he done, or what has she done? I don't even know what that is though.
Well, I mean, I think for the most part he did a lot with regards to the civil rights back in the day.
And what has civil rights done for black people?
That's a different argument.
So
because then you're gonna have other people, black folks, that say civil rights did a lot for them.
Yeah.
But then you're gonna have
there's people that say that civil rights has actually.
So that's my thing. So my thing is this: at the end of the day, you're always gonna have two sides of the coin, right? You know what I mean? You're gonna have examples where
it goes against
that no black man or black man with a white wife, they didn't do nothing, and I can show you examples of black man, black wife, they didn't do nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So the thing is, okay.
And at the end of the day,
if we're gonna bring up civil rights, you said civil rights, right?
Right.
Has the civil rights movement, has that helped black people as a whole? Are we better off now that we can vote or whatever the case is than we were prior to the civil rights movement?
Right. Listen.
Are we? Yeah, it's a simple yes
what
or
I'm
no.
saying, I don't know. I'm not American, so the civil rights didn't
He's
impact
asking
me
you a
whatsoever.
Jesse Lee question.
It's a yes or no. I like
Yes
it.
or no.
Is that just you guess or
I'm
no?
just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just saying.
a yes or no.
I would say yes.
Black people are better off.
Are they better off? No.
Compared to when though?
Here's my thing.
Be clear with it, because you guys are tripping him up right now, and you
Yeah.
guys are gonna probably set him up for some fucking.
No. So here's the thing with the civil. And listen, you got to explain more to me what the civil rights, the whole situation is.
Integration.
From my understanding, it was integration.
Being able to go to a white hotel,
Right.
stay at there, being able to go to a white restaurant and buy food there,
Right.
being able to go to a white grocery store, purchase food there, and,
Right.
and being able to sit in a white bus line and use their bus line.
Right.
That's what integration is.
Okay. So on one angle, we always, and maybe you're not one of those people, but on one angle, we always complain in regards to equality.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're saying that what I would prefer is to go back to the days where, I guess we call it Jim Crow laws and stuff like that, where black people didn't necessarily have the equality, but they have the unity. Is that what you're telling me you'd want? Because you can't have both. You can't tell me now you're getting the equality, but because what we did and what we used, because at the end of the day, you can set up the rat trap. You know what I mean? If the rat bites the cheese, you can't blame the rat trap.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But here's the thing now.
Hold on.
I know, but the thing is, you made a statement. You said equality, yo. Black people have to understand that there's no such thing as equality.
Well, I'll say this.
There's the dominators and the dominated.
Okay.
So I'll say this.
There's no. Listen, we
So
can
what
sit
my
here and talk about equality, but who runs the corporation?
So
who runs the media? And who runs the economy?
Let me say this. I think what you're probably saying is equality and integration is not the same thing. Where some black people thought that integration will bring them equality,
Mhm.
which they were fucking dead wrong.
No, exactly.
Right? Now, that's how I just wanted to clarify. But go ahead.
Yeah. So again, we go when you talk about the civil rights do anything. Are you telling me then that you would rather the life in regards to pre-civil rights?
I'm saying that
because I understand. I understand that obviously, and I totally agree with you. I think for the most part, life prior to civil rights was a lot better for the black community because it forced you to work with one another. You know what I mean? When you talk in regards to, marriage, the statistics with marriages, Black Wall Street, business ownership, it was absolutely.
But he was basically saying that with integration now, it pretty much disintegrated all of that.
Right.
It destroyed black ownership, black businesses. Instead of us owning the corporations and the businesses, we decide to abandon our businesses and
work for somebody else.
And now we have to work under their
so
corporations.
we willingly gave them the whip now.
My question is this then, right? Because that is one aspect of it, and the other aspect is regards to ability to vote. Now you can say that voting, who cares about voting? What you can say that. You can say that.
What's the point of voting when you don't even own the corporations?
Well,
that
here's
are
the problem.
lobbying.
Okay, so here's the thing. Because we like to just say, what's the point of this? What's the point of that? If somebody gives you a tool, how you use the tool is totally up to you. So, for example, you could say voting is trash. Is voting necessarily trash, or how we use our vote trash?
Listen,
for example,
voting's trash, yo.
Okay, you can say that. So, for example,
I'll explain why
let me
it's
explain
trash,
mine. For example, if we all came and had a collective in regards to listen, this is exactly what we're looking for. This is now what everybody's starting to preach. This is the black agenda. If you're not able, because at the end of the day, you have a Democratic side, you have a Republican side, and at the end of the day, they're both just trying to win, right? So in order to win, right now, I don't know if the black community is still the second largest population I don't know if the Hispanics have taken over, but anyways, the black vote is something that could sway the decision.
Really? You think
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
So if we all had an agenda and we were all thinking like-minded in regards to what we were looking for, and then forcing them, like, listen, okay, you want our vote because they're going to be kowtower. You see Biden talking to these Cardi B's and all those type of people and whatnot, and Lizzos and all those type of things. If we were more structured in regards to what we were looking for, would the vote then be more effective? Right now, the vote's not effective because we don't ask for anything. We just vote Democratic, let's say, because I guess that's for the most part. I'm not American, so I don't know. But for the most part, that's what you hear is that they just vote Democratic because that's what they were taught growing up. You hear that Republican is necessarily bad.
Loyal to a fault.
So again, the tool that's being used, are we using it incorrectly? Is the tool not a good tool, or is it that we're just using it incorrectly?
Listen, the tool is only useful because here's the thing: with the tool, we can only vote for the options that we're given. If we actually had the economics behind us, we can put up the politicians that we want to run for us. For example, listen, the choice that we have right now is Joe Biden or Trump. If we had the economics, we can fund a person that actually speaks on behalf of black issues, and they would actually be in the limelight because we'd be able to finance their campaign, and put them in the limelight through our finances. You understand what I'm saying? That means, for example, let's say Farrakhan. This is just an example. Let's just say Farrakhan.
Yeah.
If we had the $100 million, $200 million, or $300 million to back him, listen, he would be a serious candidate.
Here's your problem.
But the point is, I'm trying to say is that we black people, if we had the money behind us, we would be able to put the candidate that we want forward. Right now, we only have a choice between the candidates that they're offering us.
Here's the issue with that. What is the percentage of the black community in the United States?
It's like 13%.
13%.
That's what, according to their census report.
If you have another statistic,
I'm just saying. No, it's
let me know.
It's according to. I'm just saying.
We're gonna have to go with it. I mean, you were saying like you have something on the back end. I don't know.
I'm just saying, according to their.
Sure.
So according to the only data that we have, it's 13%.
It's 13%.
Because until you can provide something that's 28%, it's 13%.
I'm just saying. All I said was according. I didn't challenge it.
Listen, I try to look at things as logically. So I try to look at things realistically. And are you gonna get a character like, or a person like Farrakhan, and they don't care how much money you put towards that guy? The majority population is a certain demographic.
Right.
It doesn't matter. So he could preach black this, black that, black that. And if that's the only thing he's preaching, the only people who are going to be voting for him is black people, and he ain't going to win. Now, with that being said, you could have two devils on the or two horns on the same devil, and you could use them. You don't understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So if you have the funds and you say, listen, we're going to back you, but these are our demands. Then what are you going to do at that point? If you don't come with those demands, then you don't get our vote.
Listen, I said Farrakhan as an example. I'm just saying we would have the option to put whoever we.
It doesn't matter who you put.
So
who we would see fit.
You could put Dr. Umar. You could put Brother Polite.
So I'll say this.
Dr. Claude Anderson.
You could put Dr. Claude Anderson.
I will say this. The way the black community is, doesn't matter which leader we put forth, the black community will probably destroy and dismantle that black leader before you even get a chance. Because why? Brother Polite, very intelligent man. People don't like him because he lives a polygamous lifestyle. Dr. Umar.
Nothing wrong with that.
He doesn't. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that to certain people, but to some people, it's wow.
Was okay with it.
Then you have Dr. Umar, who's trying to do great things when it comes to the schools that he's trying to build, but his name gets tarnished because of his school.
They're killing Dr. Umar. They're killing Dr. Umar
he
right
tried
now.
to talk to a stripper. You're not a black leader.
They are killing Dr. Umar right now.
Right? And there's so many other black. Dr. Claude Anderson, there's one reason why I don't understand why he's not big, because financially he's very intelligent and sound when it comes to financial knowledge. But it's like maybe he doesn't want anything to do with politics, and it's like stay outside of politics, control the politics with black economics, but not get into politics. But we don't. The American blacks do not look at him as a leader to be in politics. So it's one thing to bring a black leader to the limelight into politics, but it's another thing is, can we sustain that black leader with black supporters?
Yeah, okay, right. I
remember they had a black leader. Who? Obama.
Obama is not a black leader. He's
oh, here we
listen,
go.
Who set up Obama? Was that black? The money that set up black Barack Obama, was that black money?
I don't know, man. Like you said, he's married to a black woman.
Goldman Sachs funds? Is that Goldman Sachs? Is that black money? Is that
I thought that was basically the all you needed in regards
Before we get into another topic on the certified
all you
vets,
needed in regards to
we would like to hear you guys' opinions, comments. Please make sure you make comments, like, share, subscribe to our channels, and engage with us, because we want to hear your opinions, because your opinion does matter, right? It's not just us talking. It's actually what you guys think that we want to hear. So please, by all means, comment on our social media, which is
the Certified Vets Podcast. That
it'll be soundbited added into that.
Yeah.
Right? Follow us in that, and please, by all means, check out our new episodes as they come through, because we're going to be dropping content on a weekly basis. All right, so signing off from Certified Vets, you got your man T,
Riley,
Duke De Niro,
John on the tech side.
And we would like to say thank you much for listening in, and have yourself a good day. Peace.